Now we're focusing doing some prayer walks, and so we're kind of revisiting this idea of prayer walks now that the pandemic's loosening up a little bit, because before it was how to take your faith at home, how to do faith in your house, not you're stuck in your house. But then now that stuff's loosening a little bit, it's all right, how do you take your faith outside of your house? And I think a great way to do that is to practice, and I think an amazing way to practice taking your faith outside is by doing some prayer walks. So I hope you did the one last week and enjoyed it. So the one this week is different. I've never done one like this, so I'm a little nervous, but excited to see how it goes. So I'm going to kind of maybe talk now and then do a reflection at the end a little bit. But this one is called a listening prayer walk. So, if you think of healthy relationships, it can't just be always you talking. And that's often, unfortunately, what our prayer life is. It's just always us talking, never listening. So this prayer walk focuses on listening. So I would say, set a timer, walk a certain distance, go, and just walk in silence if you can. If you can be someone who can walk in silence and not get distracted, that's awesome. If you can't, like me, I definitely can't walk in silence, my mind will wander. I would suggest maybe repeating like a stanza or a line from a favorite worship song. Maybe like if you're a student in the youth group, you love Oceans, maybe Spirit Lead Me, something like that from Oceans. Or you could repeat a Bible passage, maybe like Speak Now, Lord, your servant is listening. Or Jeremiah 6:16 has a really cool thing about being at crossroads and not knowing which way to go. So repeat that mantra to kind of focus you and just listen to what God has to say. So I'm going to go out and try that, and then I'll let you know how it goes. So I'm kind of sitting here, found a good spot to sit on my listening walk to kind of stop and reflect, and what was on my heart or my mind. And the thing that, and I struggle with discerning, like, is this coming from me or is this coming from God? But I think the thing that was sticking in my mind was, wow, I'm really bad at this. I'm really bad at focusing in and listening and turning off distractions. And something that weighed kind of on my mind is, this can't be the only time that I do this. I think I'm getting just like a lesson in humility that it's all about God and not about me, as I walk and listen, and just reminded you're bad at this. You need God's grace and God's help to listen and pay attention to hear his voice and hear his guidance in your Christianity, in your faith. And so I think the thing that I want to take away as I'm sitting here is, I got to do this again, right? So I think next week, instead of the prayer walk that I had planned, let's try another listening prayer walk. You can't just listen to God one time and think you've got it figured out. I think this needs to be a daily or weekly, whatever works, occurrence to kind of sit and focus in and listen and hear what God has to say to you. And I think that's really cool. So I really hope that you guys do it, and just sit and pause and reflect. And I want to also say, it's not like I heard some divine voice or something, I don't know, it's just what was on my mind. So it could be, you can't fail doing a prayer walk. If you don't sit down and have this amazing experience, you still spent time with God. So that it's not time wasted, and make sure that you're not looking for something that's not there. So thanks for joining.